Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Gordon Maston alongside Caleb, and we are here for the DIY Wrestling Podcast for Hell in a Cell 2016. I'm telling you, dude, it might be recency bias kicking in, and it really might be recency bias kicking in, Caleb, but this was the worst pay-per-view of the year. Like, there was not shit I cared about on here. Even Enzo and Cass winning, losing, which I thought they should have in the first place, made sense, but I didn't really care because we shouldn't really be sitting here grasping on hope for stuff like that to happen, and they should be tag champs by now.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's probably recency bias more so than anything. Because I agreed where it was pretty brutal. But like you said, you made reference to the Anderson and Gallows winning, and I thought the Enzo Big Cass promo was pretty good. So there were a few high points of the pay-per-view. So that prevented it from being an absolute shit show, but there was like just enough shit where it was awful. And I was just saying to you on the phone, I was saying how it's like the little things that they know they can get away with that really fucking piss me off. Like that, Vince McMahon just knows, or the company knows that they can just get away with doing. Like, and this is super nitpicky, and it's something that only, I guess, a dedicated or a fan that watches more frequently than, say, a casual fan would really get bothered by. But it just bothers me to absolutely no end. The corners they cut because they can, and just the stuff they do with absolutely no explanation because they can. And I'm not trying to filibuster this or talk for 30 minutes, but I just got to get on a good rant about this because it's really pissing me off. And again, it's a really nitpicky thing. It's making me seem like I'm on the spectrum. I'm okay with that. I'm going to rant about it because this is my only platform to do so. But the corners they cut being, for example, like using Renee on the talking or Raw talk, whatever.
But even the pre-show for Raw.
Yeah, exactly. A woman who was, advertised as being SmackDown exclusive. They haven't hid the fact that even, personnel like interviewers, reporters, announcers are exclusive to SmackDown. There's no hopping around. But then, for no reason, and I don't know if they've been doing this for the Raw pay-per-views because I don't typically watch the pre-show. Okay. But yeah, they're using Renee not only on the pre-show, but then, and they even made mention of this on Talking Raw. They're like, Renee, why are you here? Kevin Owens did. And she was like, I just gotta get my paycheck or whatever. But it's like, someone was like, Vince, why are we having Renee here when she is supposed to, be exclusive to SmackDown? He's like, oh, well, it doesn't matter, God damn it. That doesn't matter. No one's gonna care. Like, what I mean? It's just absolute, complete control over everything. And I know this isn't pressing news to anybody that's watched wrestling for an extended period of time. I know Vince McMahon's tyrannical grip over the company isn't earth-shattering by any stretch of the phrase, but it's just ridiculous that the show itself can be absolutely so mediocre and so force-fed and just so below par. Like it's like the Buffalo Bills, honestly. It's like,
oh my God,
it's never great, and it's never bad enough to warrant any sort of serious change, or anything favorable to happen. That's kind of how I view the WWE, and that those watching might not get that analogy unless you're a fellow Buffalonian, and if you are a fellow Buffalonian,
if you've had a sports team that's been really bad, not really bad, that's been bad, but not bad enough where it's like we don't need to make a significant change or we don't need to, jump the gun or do anything really serious here, but it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. Mediocrity is worse, excluding the Cleveland Browns, than being just absolutely fucking terrible. Because if you're terrible, it's like, okay, we need to rebuild. We need to do something.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. But to quote Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hell yeah. WWE is resting on their laurels. Like, and I don't think I've ever fucking said that phrase before just now, and I probably won't again. But like, it's the only thing I can think. Like, they're really resting on their laurels because we were talking about this. Gordon and I are just a couple of kids. We don't have a business degree. We don't have a finance degree. I'm assuming, I shouldn't say I'm assuming, because that makes an ass out of you and me, Gordon. But I'm assuming no one watching this has a degree either. But, if we come across as idiots, feel free to let us know. But I'm here thinking Vince makes so much damn revenue from the network, from ticket sales, house show sales, merchandise sales. I don't know if you've been on WWE Shop, but the merchandise is fucking crazy expensive. He makes so much money through a bunch of other verticals, a bunch of different, other means.
Merchandise is also crazy ugly too, just to put it up.
Yep. There's another thing of cutting corners because you can. But he makes so much money that it's like these network shows that people are watching on the network that they already purchased. It's not like you're ordering a pay-per-view anymore. It's not like you have to draw these people back on a month-to-month basis. They bought your network.
19 pay-per-views per year.
Yes. Oh, and that's another thing too. With the oversaturation of pay-per-views and TV, it's like I go in to watching the show with this predisposed mentality of just thinking like, okay, nothing eventful is going to happen on the show. Nothing exciting is going to happen on the show. Nothing even remotely engaging is going to happen on the show because we're going to get 4 more WWE shows just this fucking week. And guess what? 3 weeks over the horizon is one of their big 4 pay-per-views.
Oh, and dude, with that big 4 pay-per-view week, for wrestling fans in general, because I even know you indulge in Impact here and there too, so let me just explain that week. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Lucha Underground, and then you got Impact, and then you got Friday off. Saturday is TakeOver.
No, we don't. Friday, for those that watch ROH, there's ROH TV Friday.
Oh, wait. That's what? That's fine. I thought Final Battle was December.
No. I'm saying ROH TV is Friday nights. It comes out on Fridays.
Oh, it comes out on Saturdays, too. Like, the new episodes come on Saturday and Sunday.
The new episodes air Friday night for me. I have the Fight Network app, so I get them late, but they come out on a Friday always.
Oh, well, the newest episodes that Sinclair brings out for me are Saturday and Sunday on Fox.
Okay. All right.
Either way, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't talk about that because there's a lot of friends that aren't, fucking losers like us and have lives and only watch WWE. But either way, there's a ton of WWE content between the 2 shows, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. You basically got bi-weekly pay-per-views. I'm a lot of buy things. But that fucking Triple H promo, remember that shit? Or he's on commentary.
Yeah.
Anyway, he alluded to the fact that he batted for both teams. That's a good clip. Look that up on YouTube if you've never seen that. There's a lot. You're getting bi-weekly pay-per-views. You're getting so much fucking shit, and it's like, why am I supposed to think that something is gonna, you know what I mean? I guess my main point is if I felt like I really wanted to skip something, I feel like I would be totally justified in doing that. Like, I'm going to skip Raw tomorrow. I've said to you, we live in Buffalo. Raw is going to be here in 2 weeks. I'm probably not going to watch until I go to that Raw.
And I told you, you're not going to really miss anything.
Yeah, and I'm really happy they're going with the Survivor Series format. I think that's awesome. I think that's sweet. So I'm not going to complain about it. But I'm just going to realize that these next few weeks of TV aren't going to be really eventful because you're not going to be having title matches that pay-per-view. You're just going to have Owens and Jericho and Reigns and Rollins presumably in this. All
of them show up 5 times a night, basically.
That's what I'm saying. What you're gonna get is the babyface reluctant tag team pairing of Reigns and Rollins, where you're gonna have backstage segments of Reigns not trusting Rollins, and there's gonna be some animosity. And then in one of their matches, Rollins is gonna do something to earn Roman's trust back, not completely, but enough where they can work together. On Survivor Series or against Jericho and Owens. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, which is very fucking confusing because Roman Reigns tonight. on Raw Talk or whatever. And I know we're bouncing around, and I apologize for that, but this ties into my point. He on Raw Talk, he was dicing his words a lot. That man is so fucking confused when you put a microphone in front of him. He doesn't even know his character. He doesn't know if he's a good guy.
You're gonna do it.
No, I'm not gonna fucking do it. I was gonna say don't. I was gonna tell you don't fucking do it. All wrestling catchphrase puns aside, he's not. He's not a face. He's not a heel. He doesn't know. He never fully commits to shitting on the fans, but at the same time, he never fully embraces them in the way that John Cena does. You can tell when Booker T said that Roman was a little pissed off. He's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. But then when asked about Rollins, he said, a man's got to do what a man's got to do, or something like that. I'm sure I'm misquoting it. Whatever.
He was my little brother. He couldn't do what I could.
Yeah, it was just
hasn't been here yet.
It was coach talk. Like Roman was just talking like he was, a coach of a fucking Pop Warner football team. Like he was like, a man's got to do what a man's got to do, but he comes to me like. But then he was also saying that like, if Rollins needed someone or if he needed to fight Jericho and Owens, like he'd be by his side. But then he also said like, he'll never trust Rollins or what Rollins. It was just really weird. You couldn't understand how Roman felt about Rollins. And to be honest, I don't think he should have said anything about even, he shouldn't have even humored the thought of
until they give you a creative direction. Don't say anything, because if you come out on TV and they completely make you go completely opposite of what you have said, it's going to make you look stupid in the end.
Oh my God. I am so confident that Raw will not do that. Gordon, you just implied that Raw is going to surprise me or do something that I didn't. Well, I sound like such a fucking bitter loser.
Hold on, surprise you? No, dude, they're not going to surprise you. Stuff like this isn't surprising when they completely change your direction from what came out of your mouth on a show that they make non-scripted.
No, I agree, but I feel like they're going to draw inspiration from it. My point being, I don't think Reigns should have even humored the thought of working with Rollins again. In his mind, Roman, it's not like Roman's like, it was almost like breaking kayfabe where he was like, yeah, he's a babyface now. Like, we're fine.
These shows are breaking kayfabe. They're the networks. They're the network version of breaking kayfabe.
Yes, but it was like breaking kayfabe, but like still kind of within the confines of kayfabe, if that makes sense.
That's what they do, dude. Like, have you ever seen like a modern day Triple H promo, like what he'll do in NXT when he does those exclusive promos or whatever? On TV or whatever.
Those are two completely different characters, though. NXT.
No, those are two completely different characters, but at the same exact time, you know where I'm going with this. He'll talk within a kayfabe content, but then when he makes certain points, he'll speak within a non-kayfabe content.
Yeah. No, I get you 100%, but I'm just saying, he was basically like, just saying like, WWE logic and law dictates that seeing that Seth Rollins made a baby for his face turn, they are now fine. It's water under the bridge. But at the same time, I will never trust them and don't run into me. Like it didn't make sense. And I don't think he should humor that thought. I think he should still be disgusted and betrayed. And I think Seth Rollins, this is the time where it's like you hammer it into the ground that Rollins is a babyface now, and you give him that one crowning moment. And I think tonight's match, his Hell in a Cell match, helped. It was a few steps in the right direction, but you got to get that one thing that hammers it home. He needs that one defining babyface turn moment. Rollins does, and we're getting to a point where we're almost jumping the shark with it, and we're missing the opportunity. But I didn't like how Roman did that at all, and that man is so confused. And anytime you put a mic in front of him, it's Vince's words that are coming out of his mouth. It's like this pre-prepared manifesto that he has, prepared by Vince himself. It's like just complete damage control. Like, see, notice what you said. Loudest. That's all that matters. Loud. Whether they like me or hate me, like it's the same shit with Cena. It's the same shit that's fed the commentary. The difference is, though, it's like people aren't booing Reigns in the way that they booed Cena. Like, all right, this guy's a good performer, but fuck, why does he always win? It's like, okay, this guy fucking sucks as a babyface. This guy fucking sucks in the role he's in, and we boo because he could potentially be a cool character, but WWE is so insistent on forcing him down your throat.
Prime example, dude. This is the primest example of the short form of what you're trying to say. It just became an acceptance thing at one point. People hated John Cena's guts like they hate Roman Reigns now. Long story short, John Cena has stepped down out of the role he is in because he realizes same old shit makes people mad. Roman Reigns is coming into a role where he may not be the world champion or the universal champion, but it's still the same old shit with him going and beating every single bad guy, every single heel on the roster that he's on. Now, at the same time, you can move into the territory where Cena now is putting over certain guys, and he's making those guys look like they have a chance against him. Rusev, I'm pretty sure no one was invested in this tonight. No one was invested in anything that Roman does because you know the end result. Like, that's the thing with Roman Reigns. You know the end result. Now, I see people on the internet saying they're okay with Cena being the guy that ends AJ Styles' reign because Cena has taken a back seat to AJ Styles. He's taken a back seat to Dean Ambrose. He has not won a major match, a major pay-per-view match, since he's came back from his injury and Styles turned heel on him that night.
Okay, that's okay because Cena spent his whole career going over guys. It's okay for
what Roman is doing, and like Roman at this point, you can have Roman like people. Dude, remember the losses to Rollins, Balor, and Ambrose that Roman Reigns took completely clean as a whistle. People reacted, holy shit.
Well, okay, because after that, I'll get to this. I just want to say, first of all, I disagree with you, and I'll get to that. But second of all, that people thought at that point when he was going over those guys clean as a sheet, they thought that was a period of punishment because Meltzer said that Vince is souring on Reigns or whatever, and that's just false information. The guy was punished for 3 weeks and then was immediately given the U.S. title and made to look like he was the main attraction of the show. Back to Cena. I disagree with you when you say, having watched Cena's rise, I gotta say where you're not entirely wrong, where people hated him, the hate was not nearly as
it got worse in the later years. In the early years,
okay. I shouldn't say nearly. It did get worse in the later years, but like if we're comparing, like if when Cena was at the level that Roman's at, like 4 years in, it was not. People hated him, but they at least like kind of realized why WWE was making him, the flag bearer of their company. He was confident on the mic. He was good on the mic. Really good look to him. PR machine, natural in interviews, really, really good with charity work. All of that stuff became glaringly obvious. He could work a mic, he could work a crowd, and he could, get in a good feud. People hated that Cena always fucking won, and they hated that he wasn't a great wrestler, and they hated that, no matter what, he went over, and it was the way that he went over. Now, with Roman, you have a completely different story. You have the fans realizing what WWE is doing because they endured it with Cena to a certain extent for over a decade. They're realizing that a guy that doesn't even have half the ability that Cena has on the mic, a guy that doesn't have half the charm or charisma or the ability to do interviews or do PR stuff, is going to fill Cena's shoes completely and be just an absolute duplicate. And that's where the problem lies, too. It's not that he's going to be the face of the company, but he's going to have this cool, distinguished gimmick. It's copy-paste. He's going to be John Cena. And fans realize, okay, this is not going to work out. This guy is not going to be able to be John Cena. And I think where you're saying Cena realized that he needs to step down, I don't think that's true. I think he's at that point of his career where he's getting older and he's getting other offers and he's exploring other, ventures and other areas of work. And people are starting to respect Cena because they realize, okay, maybe he did deserve to be where he was because look what they're trying to shoehorn with Roman Reigns right now. Look where they're trying to put him, and clearly it's not working. It doesn't feel organic, and the guy can't pull it off.
Well, I'll give you that, and we kind of get into the show because the first thing is more Roman Reigns. So, I mean, I just want to know what was the ending point of all this?
We are such fucking losers. We get mad about Roman Reigns. Oh my god, let me just go off into a tangent. This is literally all I have. This is all I have to be angry about. A fucking Roman. Okay. I'm forgetting one of my original points, but it was Roman Reigns and Talking Smack or fucking Raw Talk, whatever, on Raw Dog, Roman Reigns on Raw Dog. I'm going in Raw Dog on these bitches. Um, yeah, it was just like, I just hate that they're putting him in the Universal title scene. It's like Vince McMahon is so delusional when it comes to the shit. He thinks that like a 1 month cool off period for Vince McMahon is putting your secondary title on Roman Reigns, featuring him as if he is the main title holder in the company, putting him on all the promotional posters still, and then just shoehorning him right back into the main event after he beats Rusev a few times. It's like, come on, Vince. You shoot yourself in the foot every time with this. Instead of taking one step forward right now and either giving Roman some edge or, hey, finally pull the trigger and turn him heel, which I don't think will ever happen. But do that now. And then in 8 months from now, where you're going to have the same situation with Roman where he's not over and he's getting shit on even worse, guess what? You turn him heel now. In 8 months, you can have that baby face you wanted once he gets over with the fans. Once they see how good he can be, once he gets comfortable on the mic, once he gets, comfortable in a role, in a character where he knows exactly what he's doing. Do that now and then reap the rewards later on down the line instead of still suffering from this years from now.
It's clearly preaching at this point. I don't even know what to say.
It just blows my mind, and this goes back to my original point of cutting corners and doing things just because you can. Vince doesn't need to turn Roman Reigns heel because he will still make money. Not as much money as he could, but he will still make enough money more money than he needs. He will still make more money than he ever needs. So what is the point of, I always make this toy chest analogy, and for those that have watched, they've heard it, but Vince has his toy chests, they're his toys, and he's going to do what he wants with his toys. So why on earth, if he likes his Roman Reigns toy so much and he likes it just the way he is, would he tweak it at all or give it a fresh coat of paint or change it up at all or buy accessories for it? I'm starting to realize how ridiculous this toy analogy is, but I was beyond the point of no return. I just stick with that. But it's just like he's so deluded by it, and he will never ever accept the fact that Roman won't be the flag bearer of his company. And I'm personally, and I'm sure a lot of people disagree, I don't think heel face whatever Roman could ever be the flag bearer of the company. He could be a main eventer, as he should be if he was given the proper character, but he just is not going to be what Vince envisions. But Vince, the thing is, Vince can prove people wrong with numbers and analytics and statistics. So if he's making a profit, he can shove it in your face and say, hey, Roman Reigns is working as the face of this company. It's not the network. It's not your other merchandise sales. It's the fact that you're featuring Roman Reigns more prominently than anyone else. And no matter how much we bitch or complain, the WWE is going to make it's going to make a lot of money from so many different avenues and other areas, not involving Raw or not even just involving TV in general, that they're going to be able to do what they want, and Vince is going to be able to do whatever he wants with his toy chest. And it's, I guess that's the end of my rant, but it's just getting to the point where, like you said, and I think that was a very good point, you can't enjoy the show anymore because you know the outcome of every single Roman Reigns feud, and you also know, no matter what, kind of like with the Cena days, no matter what the title feud is, always lurking in the background and always waiting to be plopped right back in there is Roman Reigns. Everything inevitably builds to Roman Reigns' involvement.
Speaking of Roman Reigns, first match of the night, Roman Reigns versus Rusev.
You actually want to run down this fucking card, man? Like I literally, I didn't even want to do this because I knew I was just gonna rant the whole damn time. But I'm in that mood now where I don't care. This match was very long. I'm not gonna be just
Dude, it was long. It wasn't necessarily long. They didn't do anything special. It was your typical PG era WWE Hell in a Cell match. They just grabbed weapons from under the ring. It was basically an Extreme Rules match. No, it was. They threw each other in the cage a couple times. It was an Extreme Rules match mixed with a cage match. They didn't do anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah. It's everyone's been saying this. I'm beating a dead horse, but it's like the Hell in a Cell gimmick match. That it should be called upon when the feud calls for it. It should be
Dude, the Hell in a Cell gimmick pay-per-view should be called upon. Like the Hell in a Cell match itself, like you said, should be called upon when needed. It shouldn't be called upon when it's time for the pay-per-view to roll around itself. It's bullshit, dude. The gimmick pay-per-views in general are bullshit.
Yeah.
This match is bullshit.
Yeah, gimmick pay-per-views should not exist. Because that's the thing. It's like it's so structured, and it's not like, wow, Kevin Owens and Rollins really, really, really hate each other. They can't settle this in the ring. There's too much interference. They need something where it can just be them and where it's brutal and, their lives are on the line. It's getting out of hand. It's not. It's just, oh, hey, Rollins is number one contender, and we got a Hell in the Cell pay-per-view coming up, so let's put him in the cell. Even if it did feel organic, a few did to put it in the cell, if you have a paper labeled Hell in a Cell and there's foresight and people can see that eventually this feud is going to head for a cell, it's not going to be as special because people are going to be accepting it. And it's the same thing with TLC. It's the same. It's all these stipulations just as a marketing tool because that's what WWE has become. It's become all marketing and all business. It's whatever you can put on a T-shirt, whatever you can put on a commercial, whatever you can.
McMahon's philanthropy tweet, dude.
Yeah, philanthropy is the way or the way business will be conducted in the future.
Why do you tweet that shit?
Yep, she is very dumb. Like she does not try to hide the fact that WWE is all monetized and it's all about billboards and just advertising. It's ridiculous, but yeah, the gimmick pay-per-views like this are just destined for failure because it's like, you can only do so many Hell in a Cell spots. We've seen them all before, and this year you got 3 cell matches. You have 3 in one night. So if there wasn't a spot that had already been done, well, you bet your ass that it was done tonight because and I'll be honest, I thought they did an okay job making these 3 different cell matches unique. I'm not going to just find things to be bitter about. I think they did do a good job in that regard. Like they felt like 3 very different cell matches.
Just because they felt different doesn't mean they were actually like decent matches or good. I mean, Seth and Kevin was well on its way to being a good match until they fucking had the Jericho interference part, which was just retarded, honestly.
Why don't you in a way that isn't so on the verge of tears go into why that bothered you? I'll
get to that when it comes up, dude.
Try to be impartial about it. See, we're structuring this podcast like it's a fucking WWE pay-per-view schedule. Jesus. Just be open platform. We should just spew the shit that's bothering us.
I mean, I don't really want to miss anything. That's what I'm
we do that anyway. But yeah, no, it's just like I think the Rollins Owens, I think it was good. I agree with you. I actually thought that was the match of the night, and I agree that I don't think Jericho coming out was stupid. I think when he came out was stupid. He should have came out at the end after Owens and Rollins put on a classic match and put on a better match, then have him come out at the end, have that fire extinguisher spot happen at the end. I don't know why they had that happen midway through, but they did. They needed a way to get Jericho on TV because he's the most over guy on that roster at the age of 45. Way to build new stars. But I don't think Rusev Reigns was that bad. Rusev looked like a fucking superstar in that match, and I'm really.
Here's the problem with this match. Anything that we've seen in Rusev Roman, we've seen in this match, just mixed with a chain and a candlestick. And wasn't there a chair in this? No, just a chain and a candlestick.
Yeah, I was thinking that when I watched. Actually, these guys have fought so fucking much. Remember what, like a few weeks back on Raw when it was
The 30-minute match?
Yeah, they were going against the debate and they were going against Monday Night Football too. So they just, they threw the towel.
They gave you the 30-minute match at the start of the show. And this is one thing from Raw that made me so mad.
It was longer than 30 minutes of,
No, it was straight 30 minutes. It was 30 minutes straight through.
I thought it went to like 8:40.
That match went from like actually no, it started like 8:05 and went to like 8:40. So it was somewhere around the 30-40 minute range. Either freaking way it goes, they made you invest in that match to the point where it just ended in non-contest and you just throw your hands up like, what the fuck? Like it just comes to the point where you sit here and you sit through all these matches for why? Like you sit through this match on Raw, why? Like you notice how long it's getting, and you notice that it's actually like something could be coming here, or we could actually see Roman lose. Which honestly, I'm just stupid for even thinking. I'm stupid for thinking we even get a finish because every match on Raw feels the same. And that because it didn't drew so many people to actually think this is getting pretty good. What is this leading to? And then you get shit like that, and they expose everything. And this is the reason you don't have matches on TV before a pay-per-view. This is one of the solid reasons you don't have matches on TV building to a pay-per-view. Because if we've seen it in a match that you've had in the past, it's not going to pop us. We're not going to care.
Yeah. Again, if there's a thesis to this fucking podcast, it would be getting away with shit because you know you can and cutting corners. Because, you know what I mean? It's like there's no incentive for them to have a Undertaker Mankind type memorable moment. You know what I mean? It's like, why do that? Why do something memorable here when you have a pay-per-view in 2 weeks, when you have a show tomorrow, when you have a show in a week, when you have another pay-per-view tomorrow, when you have a whole nother brand, all the shit. Why do something memorable or risk injury or something when there's so much other stuff you got to do? Or there's so much more stuff on your plate. It's just like they have no incentive to do cool shit anymore. And it's so disappointing. It's like they know that they can just structure the match the same way they did on TV 3 weeks ago because either they think half the people in the arena didn't see that or they just don't give a shit. And I think they always make that mistake of assuming their crowd is way, way more casual than they really are. I think there's a lot of fans in that crowd that they don't account for that watch the product on a weekly basis or enough to know that they're being fed the same bullshit over and over again. But no, I agree. The matches were not great, but they weren't bad enough for me to bitch about and sit here.
Yes, dude, that's the thing. Like an average match on Raw is what we get out of most of about 80% of the matches on Raw, correct?
Yeah.
And like you could say at the end of these matches, usually on Raw, not bad, but not like really great by any circumstance, right?
Yeah.
So not bad and not great by any circumstance, plus a pay-per-view, plus Hell in a Cell equals this match was not good.
Yeah, it's just spilled milk at this point. I'll look at the positives. I like how Rusev, looked pretty impressive. Besides losing again, I think I like how he's slowly starting to get over. Rusev is fucking great. Like Rusev is really, really, really good, and a lot of people don't realize that. I
fucking love Rusev. You fucking love Rusev. Like, I know. You're not gonna get this until it's too late and everybody's just chanting "We love Rusev" or some shit like that and then the casuals catching like they did with Sasha, like we want Sasha, and then it's gonna turn into something that we probably don't want.
I don't foresee that. I
don't foresee that. I'm sorry. That's probably just me being just an irritated dickhead right now. And
no. It's not. It's you being skeptical, which is completely justified. Trust me. But no, I think that a lot of the fans don't get what Rusev is doing, which Vince has, said or something. Like I heard that Vince thinks Rusev is hilarious, but he's scared that a lot of people at home won't get it. And I'd like to say that's insulting our intelligence, but I think he's right because I feel like people think that Rusev is actually just, an Iron Sheik level foreigner where he speaks in broken English and really does not know what he's saying. You know what I mean? But if you've ever seen Rusev outside of WWE, his accent is not that severe at all. He speaks English perfectly. I'm pretty sure he's lived here for the majority of his life.
And the dude has major fucking personality. Like
that's what I'm saying. He gets his character and gimmick more than anybody else gets their gimmick in the WWE. He knows exactly what he's supposed to do. Like he knows that if he wants to get heat, he has to go out there and say shit that doesn't make sense. He has to speak in broken English. Like the wet fish, like I don't. He's just been so great for so long, and more people got to realize that. Like this guy's a gem. He's great on the mic. He's a great worker. Like, damn, I don't know, super.
Well, that poses my question to you. Where does Rusev go from here, and how is his credibility regained? Because Roman has destroyed all his goddamn credibility at this point. He's taken his title, shamed his wife at this point, and beat him in the Hell in a Cell.
I don't know. I think you gotta put him on the Survivor Series team. I would hope. I fear that they're gonna put like Big Cass on there or something like that. But I would hope
he'll be in the tag team, remember?
What?
He'll be in the tag team.
Oh yeah, true, very true. Yeah, I hope they put him in the Survivor Series match. Then I can't think of who else they put in there. Because they'll probably put Cesaro and Sheamus in the tag match too. I think it'll be Rusev, but then you got him feuding with the same guys, and you're just delaying it for a longer amount of time. Gee, I don't know. Like it's weird because we've never really seen him outside of like a main event feud. You know what I mean by that? Like we've never seen him not really working with a guy he's at the level now though where he could work with a lesser guy and get him over and give that guy the rub. Because I'm saying excluding his build to, his original Monster Heel run where he ran through Swagger, Bo Dallas, all those guys, whatever. Or not Bo Dallas, Swagger, Big E.
Mark Henry, Big Show, Big E.
Since then, he's worked with, established names like Cena, Reigns. It's all been big name guys. Ziggler.
Sheamus.
Yeah, exactly. The list goes on. So we've never really seen him work with a guy beneath him. So I think that'd be interesting to see whether he'd elevate him. Or because that's the real litmus test for Rusev here. If he has the ability to, get someone beneath him, over, and I don't mean over where they chant USA, Jack Swagger, Big E, or all these guys that were trying to beat Rusev.
So with Swagger, it worked perfectly. He actually got over. Yeah.
That's his whole gimmick. But I'm saying if he can actually get a younger guy over now, since he's kind of moved on from this whole evil foreigner gimmick. To an extent, I think that'll be a good test for Rusev. But yeah, in the immediate future, I'd probably just see him going on the Survivor Series team.
And he's still just trapped after that from there, doing nothing, which is the saddest part of it all. All right. Well, I believe next up was the whole Enzo and Cass club thing, right?
Was it?
I think it was. We're just roll with that. Enzo and Cass versus the club. Enzo and Cass really came out with a really good promo. The only thing I didn't like about this.
You changed your mind on it then, because you didn't like it originally.
No. What I didn't like about it were the stupid nicknames. Though that was corny shit, dude. Like that just sounds like something that Vince would come up with. Like,
that's Enzo's whole shtick. I got the opposite. I felt like Enzo came up with that. But
I don't think like Big Gal. That sounds like such a Vince thing. It really does.
It was really forced, and like Andy from Anderson, and like it was just
Big Gal, like some kind of 1980s, 1960s TV show.
Yeah, I think Enzo thinks of the punchline for his bits first, and then works from there. Because I don't know if you saw, he went as Woody for Halloween yesterday, or he dressed up as him. So, yeah, I think I feel like he came up with this, or either Vince saw the costume and thought this would be funny. But yeah, so he works in reverse when it comes to his jokes. So he thought, like, how can I get Andy from Anderson? And what was he calling fucking Gal? Big Gal? Yeah, I don't know. I liked it though. It was. If it was anyone other than Enzo, it would have been stupid. But
I mean, the rest of the punchlines and jokes that came up with it, like, really made sense. They reached out to pop culture. They reached out to the city. There was pandering with the whole Big Poppy thing. Go ahead.
No, I didn't say anything.
But yeah, it was basically that. It was fun for what it was, and at the end of it, it's so sad that I've come to this. I just wanted to see Gallows and Anderson just beat the shit out of him. That's all I wanted. Like, I just wanted Anderson and Gallows beat the shit out of him, win the match, and just move on. Or just, if they're going to keep this going, whatever. But Anderson and Gallows cannot afford to lose. I'm sorry. It's become to that point where the New Day beat these guys so much to this point, and they've had comedy style fucking stuff going on with them for so long at this point where it's severely damaged. And the club, they're damaged goods.
Yeah, no, I saw this to you too. Like, I really hate the fact that they've made every time I hear the beginning ballads of their fucking theme song, Enzo and Cass, I'm like, ugh. But, I was expecting way worse. I actually really like this promo. I thought Cass was good. I thought, on pay-per-views, they always cut really, really good promos. I think maybe that's their deal. They're allowed freedom on pay-per-view promos. They aren't as scripted.
I feel like the big gal and the whole Andy thing was forced. Other than that, the rest of it wasn't forced because I heard lines in that promo that they've used before.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely got some freedom with it, but yeah, no, I just don't. I fucking hate that I have to, wince when I hear that music now. Like it's whatever. Anyway,
the thing with Enzo and Cass on NXT, and the thing with them on the main roster. This is a quick little point. Enzo and Cass on NXT came on every few weeks, and when they came on, there was something cool. Now they're forced to be on TV every week. Like, oh, we have to squeeze them in. Let's just throw them against the Shining Stars for just like absolutely no reason. Or we'll just go with the fact, like with the NXT, they lost to stay over because whenever they lost and they cut a promo to get back up, and they eventually did get a win over somebody or like stand tall eventually, it made them that much better. It made them that much more over.
Yeah, I think it goes back again to what I said, a marketing and a business standpoint. On NXT, it was awesome because they would come out and they do their whole shtick. My name's Enzo Amore, and they do soft, and that would be once every 3 or 4 episodes you'd see them. Now on Raw, it's like every fucking week because they got to sell T-shirts. They got to hammer that home. They need footage of them doing that for future WWE highlight videos.
Exactly. For little marks, it's basically out of sight, out of mind. I don't see you. I don't want to buy your stuff.
Exactly. So that's what they're thinking. They're like, they need to expose every town to this. But when you do that, you run the risk of it getting old pretty quickly, which I think it will. And especially if you're scripting Enzo's promos, it's gonna get old quickly. People are just gonna be like, okay, they need to shut up. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're eventually planning with them. I don't know if they're planning on ever, Cass ever turning on Enzo. They have the perfect catalyst for that, seeing that Enzo always eats the pin anytime they lose.
Just like tonight.
But I don't think they'd ever go with a big Cass Enzo feud because they would just be so blatantly like one-sided,
dude.
Yeah, I know. And people think Cass has this bright future ahead of him. I think that future is only bright if Enzo's by his side. If he was ever a singles competitor, he would still need Enzo with him as a mouthpiece. Having said that, though, I'm glad the club picked up the win tonight. They needed it. Carl Anderson, most underrated guy on the roster, besides Rusev.
Caleb, did you know this man was a G1 finalist?
No, I didn't know that. They should make mention of that on the.
No, dude, they don't care. I mean, they at this point, I honestly think they brought the club in here just just for comedy, and they brought Carl Anderson's bald ass in here to fucking job because he eats all the pins, dude.
They brought them in.
Gallows is the workhorse of this team.
Yeah, when they brought them in, they did that to please Smarks, and the fact they always mention the G1 in New Japan now, it's like ever since they decided, all right, we'll mention other promotions. Now they're just like fucking doing it to the extreme. I'm not gonna complain about that. I think it's cool they do that, but like,
that's the thing. He's a G1 finalist, and he has it tattooed on himself.
Yeah, that one's unavoidable. But they bring these guys in, so the only place you can watch them if you're a Smark is WWE. It's like. It's like they know that they're always going to be profitable and have viewership, but they know there's also a big group of elitist smarks out there. They're like, oh, I'm not watching WWE. I don't need to. All my favorite guys are in Japan or something like that. And it's like, okay, well, if we bring these guys, we'll get those, the smarkiest of smarks to come watch our show. I don't know. What fucking sucks is the club with AJ before they got split on the roster.
They were doing just fine.
Oh, they were great. They were better than just fine. They were awesome. And, like, the club had such big things going for them. So they split them up, whatever. Another thing that fucking sucked is, like, you could tell before Finn got injured, they were going to branch them out into a program with Finn. Like, I'm sure that's where they were going. And
I
then,
mean, they teased it at SummerSlam.
what?
They teased it at SummerSlam.
Yeah, okay, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it just sucks that nothing worked in their favor. And then, Vince got a hold of their podcast, I'm assuming, or he got a hold. You caught wind that Gal or that
Gal's a podcast completely drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Or they did frequently, and but he knew that they were funny guys, and everyone thought that Gal was the funniest guy in the locker room. So he probably thought like, all right, I got to make them funny guys on TV. He thought he had like the next DX on his hands or something, and he fucked that up royally. And I don't think they're damaged beyond repair like a lot of people think. I think they're still relatively new, or new into their run where they can get something done. But I think they either need to add somebody else and have Carl Anderson be the leader, or they need a leader. Because they're treading water right now, and I just feel like they're so much more interesting as lackeys than they are as just a unit, and a unit alone with no leader.
I mean, they ran as 3-time IWGP World Tag Champs, and they can run as tag champs. Like you said, they just need a leader. The problem here for me is they can't just continue feuding with Enzo and Cass. They've beaten Enzo and Cass, and in the world of WWE, it's 50-50 booking. So, I mean, at some point they're going to get their win back, making the club's win meaningless, null and void.
We'll see. Like you were saying earlier, don't look into your crystal ball just yet. We don't know. We don't know that for a fact, so we shouldn't get upset about that yet. But yeah, I don't know.
This is go back to the original point. They should have been New Day. It's simple as that.
Yeah, they should have. No doubt in my mind, they should have been the tag team champs. And the only reason they did is because they want New Day to break that fucking record.
Well, do you want me to tell you something that you're probably not going to like?
Okay, later. That's not a very enticing offer, but all right, I'll take it.
I know, but it's still going to interest you to hear this. The Revival play the role of Gallows and Anderson better than Gallows and Anderson play the role of Gallows and Anderson.
No, I agree 100%. Like I feel like that's what they want Gallows and Anderson to be, but they can't. It's weird because like that's what they were in Japan, but into an American audience for some reason that doesn't translate over. Like they want them to be these big bad bruisers that don't give a shit and just kick your ass. And you're right. That's exactly what the Revival is. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that completely. I don't disagree with you on that.
Oh no, I never said you would disagree with that. I just said you probably wouldn't like it.
No, I don't know. I don't hate the Revival. I'm not as high on them as everyone else. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I have come around to them recently, but I'm not.
I'm pretty sure next week's match on NXT TV probably turns you around if it's next week.
Who are they facing? Our DIY? Did you read spoilers?
No.
Dude, they've had at least two match of the year candidates this year alone. I'm not going to deny for a second how great of workers they are or how great of a match they can put on. I'm just saying, me personally, I don't know. They haven't won me over quite yet. I'm sure that'll change though. But what was after Enzo and Cass versus the Club? Was it Bailey and Bailey? You know what? Bailey versus Dana was actually before this.
Well, either way, I don't care. Bailey gets the win. She probably should have, if I get really speaking with this, because Dana Brooke isn't worth. Like it's not. Like, there's no point, dude. She screws everything up she touches.
Yeah, no, I've soured on Dana, and like
I was never high on Dana. Like I was high on Dana actually. No, I wasn't even high on her. I was content with her when she was with Emma.
Yeah, that would have been great. Hey, maybe she'll be paired with Emelina. But oh my god, that's probably gonna fucking happen tomorrow. I'm forgetting that we have fucking Raw tomorrow. I just want to watch SmackDown. But dude, is Dana is she supposed to be jacked? Like this sounds insensitive.
She looks fat.
I'm probably coming across as a douche. She's certainly not fat, but like, is she supposed to be jacked? Like, I don't. When she debuted,
jacked when she came in. Dana was completely jacked when she came in. It looks like she kind of let herself go.
Yeah. She really was jacked in NXT, but they're like running this into the ground her being jacked, and I'm just it's like kind of funny because she's standing there flexing, and it's like what are we supposed to be looking
A bit of gut poking out there, Dana.
Yeah, that sounds douchey.
It sounds douchey, but at the end of the day, it's kind of the truth. I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
We have to conform to this PC world we're living in, brother.
I don't choose to. I'm sorry.
No, but then you got Bayley afterwards after the match saying that not after the match, but on Raw Dog, Raw Talk, she was saying that she awkwardly was saying that she wants to face Charlotte for the title, or that she's ready, and it was really really awkward.
Why would you embarrass this girl like that, man?
I don't know, because I think that's part of her charm. Like, really only Bayley could get away with it. Bayley's the only person on this roster where they can say, okay, come on, take two, Bayley, because it's like she's like the perpetual younger sister. You know what I mean? It's like you're rooting for her, you want her to do well, and it's like, you know what I mean? So it would make sense to lead, and then we're like, come on, Bayley, try it again. Like it makes it seem like Bayley has a hard time with being confrontational. That kind of fits into her whole cute, like, a little girl type gimmick, whatever she has going for her. But yeah, so I don't know if that's where they go from here. I was saying to Gordon, the most puzzling thing about this women's match is just why would you have Sasha win on TV a few weeks ago when you could have built to this match in Hell in a Cell, actually made it significant, make people care, other than the fact that it's just women main eventing, which you didn't even exclusively advertise. You advertised there's 3 main events. For a company that loves to pat themselves on the back anytime they do something progressive, you'd figured they'd be advertising the shit out of this. I heard it was a last second decision to put them on last, or not last.
That's exactly why, dude. Like, you don't even have to sit there and question it. That's exactly why.
It's ridiculous. But anyway. Back to my previous point, you could have generated so much intrigue if in front of Sasha Banks' hometown, you have her fucking win the title after being antagonized by Charlotte for weeks up to this point. That is booking 101. Instead, though, they want to, preserve this Charlotte as undefeated on pay-per-view record, which is an awful record to boast about, because that basically means that you're going to know the outcome to every single one of Charlotte's pay-per-view matches, at least for the foreseeable future. So why watch? But also, they want her to be just like her dad. You know what I mean? As soon as she won, they immediately said 3-time women's champion. If they keep it up at this rate, she'll be the 16-time women's champion by next fucking year. So I don't know why they decided to do this, but it really sucked my intrigue out of the main event. Sasha Banks' ass cheeks brought me back in. We can't objectify them.
No,
we only objectify women's wrestling when the match is bad. No, okay, I should shut up. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Cruiserweight.
Yep. Segue. No, the
TJP and Kendrick. I was on TJP's side after NXT this past week because it brought me back in on TJP completely. To be completely honest with you.
Yeah, what the fuck is it about that setting and environment that makes TJP so fucking awesome compared to the main roster?
Because the crowd cares.
Yeah, it's actually probably exactly why. I just think this fucking story they're running is so stupid of how it kind of made sense after tonight. I'll give them that. They kind of changed my mind a little bit.
They really didn't change, but they could have went. There's a completely different way they could have went about this.
Yeah, they made it good. They made it seem like Kendrick was just getting in TJP's head and telling him that he was broken and needed the win, so TJP would take pity on him when he was injured, and so TJP would feel bad for him. So he goaded him in with that, and then took advantage of it. So I think it was actually kind of smart in the long run. Not smart, but exceeded my expectations in the long run, compared to what I thought it was going to be. But all in all, I don't think for your first few. To get people introduced to the cruiserweights and to get people familiarized with them, I think that picking Kendrick and TJP is your first main feud was really weird because these are two guys that aren't really able to show off the cruiserweight style the best. But I guess on the other side of that coin, you have the best character and one of the best speakers, one of the best actors in the company with Brian Kendrick, and one of the best. My apologies, the Brian Kendrick. I know this is your show, but it's actually the Brian Kendrick. That was great on Raw Dog, but yeah, and then you have a very charismatic TJP, who kids absolutely love. I'm telling you, he's going to be the next Rey Mysterio type little kid ambassador. Kids are going crazy over him already. He needs a shirt, damn it. They got to capitalize on that. He needs a terribly awful video game centered shirt.
You mean a pixelated Lego-looking TJP shirt?
Yeah, or
just his Game On the back.
Yeah, or it's like a 9. Yeah. They'll do something stupid where it'll say like 100 overall on the front or something, or like Game On, or there's no turning this game off. So it'll just be something so stupid.
Well, I'll say this much about this match. Thanks to NXT this past week, I actually felt bad about TJP losing the title.
Well, I feel bad about TJP losing because he took pity on Brian Kendrick when he thought he was in a really vulnerable, lonely state, and Kendrick is psychotic and took advantage of that. I think that was a good story they're running with.
I don't think psychotic's the right way to explain Kendrick in this case. It's just like he knows that TJP. He'll never admit it. Kendrick will never admit this. TJP is better than him at this stage in Kendrick's career. And like I said, I don't think he'll ever admit it. But at the same time, Kendrick is going to outsmart TJP and do what he did here. So like he said, he's crafty. He'll use his craftiness to win matches, whether people like it or not.
Yeah, you're right. He's insecure, and he uses his intelligence to win matches, and I think that's brilliant. And you could see he was insecure on Raw Talk with Booker T. He got defensive, and he told him. He said what we're saying right now. He uses his intelligence. He got smarter in those years. He's 37. He's smart now. That's the only thing that changed. He said his best years are still in front of him. So where other guys are relying on their skill, Brian Kendrick is relying on his intelligence and his smarts to win matches. And I think that's good. Now going from here, I don't know. I'm assuming TJP will get a rematch on TV. I love Rich Swann so damn much, and like he's honestly one of the main reasons I watch Raw, and he's great. I don't want to see him in the title feud yet. They're hyping Cedric up in the kickoff show cruiserweight match, and they said he could be in line for a cruiserweight match. I think that would be a good filler feud. Maybe TJP gets his rematch next pay-per-view. You got Cedric, and then eventually you have Rich Swann built up to be the guy that takes the title eventually. But then again, you wouldn't have time for your 6-man tag cruiserweight matches. So I don't know. No, but yeah, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, Kendrick, he was good in that match, but holy fuck, he was the star of Raw Talk. He was absolutely brilliant on that, dude. He was him and Booker T, they're back and forth. That was money. That was gold.
Also, there's much about the match though. It didn't really do anything for me, like most Brian Kendrick matches. I'm just not impressed by Brian Kendrick's I'm this crafty veteran, slower style. It's probably because I'm so used to Kendrick, and I know it's because it's a heel, so he can't really, and I don't know what his limitations are with his flexibility and all that crap now, but his style that he's using now, I'm just not a fan of. For him, personally, and for the cruiserweights, and to be the guy who represents the division, guys who are, fast-paced, really fun. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. I hate the Michael Cole saying fun to watch, but we're just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's not for everyone, but the thing about Brian Kendrick is he realizes he's older. He realizes he needs to reinvent himself, and he's doing a style where he can save his body and where he can, like you said, he's a heel. Like he has the style he could do, But I think he came back with a vision in mind, and he realized, okay, I can't be what I was. I need to do something revolutionary. I need to do something brand new, and I need to do a style that will make sure I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm getting up there in age, but I also need to do something that can generate a lot of heat, and it needs to be something that people haven't seen before, or at least something that's somewhat unique comparatively to what you're going to see on TV on a week-to-week basis. So I like the fact that he reinvented himself, and he's realizing too. Okay, I can't move like I used to. I can't do a lot of stuff. I can't do a lot of these moves that these cruiserweight guys can do that will endear me to the fans. So I got to find another way to get over. So I think what he's doing is brilliant right now. And I'm actually before tonight I was not a huge. I wasn't a big supporter of him, but he really sold me on him tonight. So I hope big things are coming for him. I'm happy he's cruiserweight champ. But yeah, I mean that's all I gotta say about the Brian Kendrick.
My last point on the Brian Kendrick in the division. I mean, at this point, they still have me in the same position I was in last week, the week before that. It's vintage Raw at this point. The Cruiserweights, they've stifled them since the transition from CWC to Raw. It's vintage Raw. They've stifled them at this point. I still have no care in the world at this point. I just care about my favorite guys, those being, I mean, TJP wasn't really a favorite, but I never disliked him at all. But like I'm beginning to really fall for TJP at this point. Swan and Alexander are my others, and obviously Tony Nese.
Yeah, Tony Nese is great. And you can tell they're really, really high on Nese. He's if he doesn't just completely transcend the division, he's gonna get the title eventually. But no, I kind of feel what you're saying, because what I was saying about Swan eventually getting the title. That requires the proper build, for him to be, booked as this underdog and get super over. And I don't think Raw can confidently do that. And there was those rumors that the Cruiserweight might get their own show on the network. And we were just complaining about oversaturation. But you know what? I think that would be better because they'd be used properly. And it would be, I've said, if anything,
actually do something like Cruiserweight Tag Team Championships, Cruiserweight World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that. I honestly wouldn't.
Also, we've said for so long that NXT, needs to be a little longer. An hour and a half, whatever. This almost extends NXT. You know what I mean? It's like you sit down for a 2-hour show. It's like where 2 hours is perfect, one almost doesn't feel like enough. So you bunch the Cruiserweight Classic in with NXT like we got used to for 12 weeks there, or 10 weeks, however long it was. You do that, then I think that'd be good. I think that'd be good, and that'd be a great way to utilize these guys properly and get them off Raw. And if SmackDown doesn't,
maybe if that were the case too, you could probably sign Ibushi.
Oh yeah, because he could just come in a week and film. Yeah, that's true. You could say he's on your roster technically, even though he's there for one day out of the month. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. But okay, what was after this? Was it the tag team match? Yeah, it was Sheamus and Cesaro versus the New Day.
Wasn't that after the Rollins Hell in a Cell?
Yes, we completely skipped. Well, Rollins and Owens Hell in a Cell was before Perkins and Kendrick. So
we can get to the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Okay, we talked about this briefly. I think it was a good match. I think it was ruined. It wasn't ruined, but I don't think Gordon believes it was ruined. I disagree. I think it was watered down, diluted by Jericho coming out when he did. I realize you got to get him out there. He's the most over guy in the roster. You got to get him on the show somehow. You got to play into the fact that him and Owens are, you got to build this friendship up more. I'm very glad they didn't tease tension between these two and tonight and further the dissension between them. I'm glad they showed them as a unit because I don't think it's the time at all. I know Jericho might be going away for Fozzy Tour or whatever, but I love these guys, and I think there's still so much uncovered ground with these two that you could, explore. So I think that was a good choice. I think if, had the Rollins KO match had a little more time to progress and become even better than it was at that point, in a few more cool spots, it would have been better if he came out at the end. You could have had that fire extinguisher spot and then have Jericho run out. I don't know, or you could have the fire extinguisher spot at the end of the match and then have Jericho run out and have the shit go down.
Here are a couple of things, though, man.
Go for it.
WWE pay-per-views, do we get the dynamic of babyface versus heel, and we get the heel having help and interference in matches like this? How often does this happen? For
That
Raw, at least.
a heel gets help in a match?
Yes.
Pretty frequently. What are you getting at?
What I'm getting at here is Rollins and Owens were on their way to something special here. Once they hit that 6 sequence, they were on their way to something special. They had pulled the table and everything. They did the whole buckle bomb kind of power bomb into the cage. Everything was just fucking sick. And then what they go and do from there is like Jericho comes out and the whole entire thing is just ruined. Like if they wanted to do something, they could have had Jericho come out after the match, like he basically came out and just made the statement with Rollins and codebreakered him. They could have had him do something after the match. You could have put Chris Jericho on this. You could have just had Kev win, like you said, at the very
No,
end.
no, no, no.
Jericho's help.
You can't have Owens go over clean, then have Jericho come out. Like they needed a way to get
It would
out.
never had to been clean, man. He could have just low blowed Seth. I mean, and here's the thing with the fire extinguisher splat, there was no point to him fire extinguishing the referee, no matter what. And this is what's stupid to WWE for me. They can't do shit about Jericho getting in there. It's no disqualification.
Yeah, the ref was trying to prevent it, but they left the door open, and then they were like,
It's just completely retarded to me that in any of these matches, you can't get in here, like, you need to stop now. Well, what's going to happen if I don't? I don't know, but you just can't get in here. Like, what the, like, logic.
yeah, well, you're preaching about logic when doing a review of WWE, Gordon. That's
Yes, but then when they get into the most fucking clinching situations, they bring up logic like, oh, Triple H's foot was under the bottom rope at Roadblock versus Dean Ambrose. He's not champion. Little shit like that. Oh, that's WWE logic.
Yeah, exactly. It's selective logic, like logic when they need it for storyline.
Then be fucking consistent.
You're right, but no, I don't think he should have came out after the match. I think he should have came out later. Having said that, though, I think he added like a kind of interesting dynamic to the match where it helped.
It's the same shit as last time, though. Like, the referee got knocked out, Jericho came out at Clash of Champions, and then it looked like Rollins was really on the verge of winning, which he was. He had it, and then he lost it. It's the same thing as last time, just out of Hell in a Cell.
I know, but let me say this. It helped in kind of forwarding him as a babyface in the sense that he got his, like, ass handed by these two. He got smacked around with a chair, all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, he got brutalized, and he wasn't going to give up. And that was the whole point of this.
All for the sake of the WWE narrative.
Right, but at the end of the day, it's always the case. They needed to get Rollins some good babyface heat, and I think they might have accomplished that. So let's just not dwell on this too long.
It's just, like, dude, I'm sorry. Shit like this just makes me so mad because they had so much good shit going on here, and then they put this convoluted fucking bullshit TNA-esque, because this is what TNA used to do with all their heels who had help, and bring them out here and just like make a bunch of bullshit happen, like make you think that the face can win. Like, this was almost TNA-esque in my mind, like TNA 2010 to 2013. Oh.
Okay, Gordon. You all right?
I got a bit of a headache. Let's just... Kevin Owens wins.
Gordon is making it seem a lot worse than it was. It wasn't great. I'll give you that, but it wasn't anything to,
The reason I'm so mad is because it could have been amazing. They were on their way to.
I don't think anyone. What I was saying earlier, no one has these grand expectations for these things because, like I said, you fucking see them. You see a wrestling show every day. So I think me personally, I don't know if people agree or if other people felt this way. I wasn't expecting shit from this match. I was expecting to be really formulaic, and I was
expecting that too. But then when they started doing the sequence shit, and then they had the buckle bomb corner thing set up.
Yeah, no, you're right. I started to expect it to be a great match from that point on. But I'm not.
You still can't cock tease me like that, and then expect me to be happy when Chris Jericho runs in.
Because he's the most over guy in the roster. You know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff they do too is for the live crowd, Gordon, because you got to have that crowd reaction on TV. You got to do stuff that'll pop the crowd. I'm not going to disagree with you. I think it's stupid Jericho came out when he came out, but it added something to the match at the end. I don't think it ruined the match. I thought it was a pretty good match. It could have been better though. You're right. But let's not dwell on it. Let's move on to Cesaro and Sheamus versus the New Day.
Oh, something that was even more stupid.
Yeah, well, at least you didn't have any sort of expectations going into this.
I never did. The New Day come out. It was a 15-minute roast session as per usual. They said nothing eventful, nothing useful. It was just plain old New Day shit. Kofi was pandering. Xavier said to him, "Kofi, I think you're pandering a little more than usual here." Well, he was like, "It's my hometown, man." He's like, "I love this place." And, I think because of the whole Jamaican thing, I don't think people really ever knew. I love this town, man. And then he's like, "I'm even wearing the official shoe of Rob Gronkowski."
Yeah, and Gordon and I did not need that because, as stated earlier on this podcast, we are Buffalo boys. And we got steamrolled by the Pats today. But a good comparison therein lies, and people being upset that we lost, it's like, what the fuck were you expecting? It's like, that's how I view this pay-per-view. You're upset about a lot of this shit. But the thing is, if you let your expectations be as low as mine were, then you're pleasantly surprised when you get some decent shit on the show. But, yeah, dude, Cesaro and Sheamus, they want them so desperately to be like these strange bedfellows. You know what I mean? They want them to be exactly what Team Hell No was. They want them to be like – the thing is, though, the reason Hell No worked was because Daniel Bryan and Kane were contrapositives of each other. They were so different that it was like hilarious to see these two interact. Cesaro and Sheamus, it's like these are two guys that have, a relatively similar style, that are the same size, that are, pretty evenly matched from what we've seen. And it's also two guys that one guy that, people really don't give a shit about. And I'm not going to say which guy, dude, but, and like they're trying to copy elements from Miz and Miz now too. It's like they're trying to capture lightning in a bottle here again, and it's just like I don't know. Maybe it's just not as good because I see through it and I'm just like annoyed by it. But
you're annoyed. You want to know why you're annoyed?
Why, Gordon?
Because Cesaro deserves better, and this shouldn't have been the case whatsoever.
Geez, you are really, really you got a smart stick up your ass right now. You are. You need to be on Reddit right now. You'd be getting so many upvotes right now.
I just don't. This makes no sense to me, dude.
No, dude. Listen, they don't have anything for Cesaro at this point. They don't. I think maybe instead of shoehorning so one of your champions, your United States champion, into a program with the WWE champion. Maybe for a fucking filler feud, maybe just pick a different guy that isn't fucking holding your mid-card belt, a Cesaro, or imagine this. Imagine if Kevin Owens had a lifelong enemy on the roster that he always feuded with, that they could use for a filler feud for the title. If only there was somebody on the roster that could fill that void. So why not have it be a fucking Sami Zayn or a Neville or a fucking Cesaro to just put in the fucking, like, from that,
dude, I said this from the start of the best of five. No, best of seven. I said best of five. I'm changing my mind. But for the best of seven, I said from the start, why is it Sheamus? It should have been Zayn.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's because Vince always needs to get one of his homegrown, self-made guys in there. Gordon,
you're running out slower and slower just so you know, Vince.
Yeah. Well. Let's see. There'll be a time where Vince honestly wants to push Tyler Breeze because he isn't from the independent scene. I hope that means good things for Ty Dillinger, but that guy's been in developmental for like 11 years.
Dude, he's almost 36, 37.
No, he's almost 36. He's 35.
Crazy to me.
Well, he could still have 5 years on the main roster of good. Well, more than that, but.
Hey, remember the DX segment where Shawn Michaels went off and just said, "I kick Stan" and all that crap, right?
Yeah, that's Stan. Yeah, everyone knows that. That's
yeah.
time.
Yeah. Insane.
Keep the ugly off him. It's not even pretend these days. But yeah, so anyway, there's shenanigans. Sheamus prevents
Big E from getting in the ring.
Yeah, and then
during a sharpshooter spot, which actually let me be positive for once, which was brilliantly applied by Cesaro, by the way.
Yeah, he really locks in the sharpshooter because he understands how to make it look painful on TV.
Natalia, learn, please.
Yeah. But it was he had it cinched in, and I mean I always forget how good of a worker Xavier is. Xavier Woods is very very
I love that. Like I forget too because he never wrestles.
yeah, you can tell he takes pride in it because he's so big in a nerd culture. Like you can tell he's always want to get better. He's always, you know what I mean? Like I just love that guy, and I hope the best for him. I hope one day he gets a singles title of some sort. Hopefully with the New Day by his side. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I wish. But yeah, so Xavier, the ref turns though as soon as Kofi hits Sheamus because Kofi sees Sheamus taking out Big E. And the ref sees this, disqualifies the New Day, but as he's not looking, Xavier's tapping. Cesaro thinks they won because Xavier is tapping. Then they announce that the New Day lost, but it was a DQ. Cesaro's pissed. Him and Sheamus argue. And that was that.
Now let me tell you the disconnect here. You basically played it off as if Cesaro and Sheamus were the all-conquering faces because the New Day had 3 and they had 2, and Cesaro had I said Tyson. Wow, Cesaro had Xavier tapping, and Kofi was the reason the match got thrown out. When at the end of the day, the New Day are universally over. It's in Kofi's hometown, by the way, as well, Boston. Vince likes to make people look bad in their hometowns, by the way. And
Sounds bad.
yeah, and at the end of the day, you're not gonna get like even when like Sheamus and Cesaro were doing the thing where they like pose and like one gets a cheer, one gets a but like they didn't care. And I said no one gets a Boston crowd, and Boston crowds are relatively smarky, and Cesaro, usually we have a huge fan base here.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't even want to talk about this. It was just such a It was just such a fucking filler match. Just so
it was the piss break leading into the Hell in a Cell match.
They knew it too. They're like, all right, well, we just got to throw a team in here that won't get hurt by losing to the New Day, so they can keep their tag team run. How many more fucking days do they have till they beat Demolition's record?
Actually, Sunday.
Sunday?
434.
Okay, good.
And Demolition's at 470. So technically 2 more months.
2 more months?
2 more months.
Wouldn't it be 1 more month if you said they're a little over a month?
It's 434, about a month and a half. But you have to think in pay-per-view time, they're going to make them lose another pay-per-view, so it's going to be a little over that.
They probably won't have them drop the titles till Mania, honestly, dude.
True, so if anything, they'll probably get to 500.
Yeah, they got to establish a team in that time, though, too.
Gallows and Anderson, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I feel like at Mania you'll probably have a team like the Revival win though, or a team that gets called.
That.
Yeah, we'll see. That'd be a good match because the Revival would not put up with their shit.
No, not one bit.
It'd be a weird match. We'll see though. But yeah, okay. After that, you got the main event, which we already talked about.
But you got your thoughts out. I personally didn't.
Okay.
I thought
before I let you unwind here, is there a way you can phrase this and talk about it where you're not going to work yourself up and say nasty shit?
Let's put it this way. This match, and this is what I said to everybody that I was talking to at this point. It felt like such a we're just trying to make history thing because women don't hit other women with chairs. Women don't put other women through tables. And it made me so mad because Sasha Banks got powerbombed through a table and they said, "Oh, her back." But any other time this is a thing. Like, "Oh, his back must be hurting." The men fight through it. They had to get an entire stretch out and it made Sasha look completely weak. These are the things that WWE do. Like, while they say, "Oh, well, women are all powerful," and like, I'm sorry, but things like this just it just doesn't work for me. The entrances were made like this is a whole WrestleMania big deal.
That was fucking cringeworthy, dude. They
brought back the Brooklyn entrance for Sasha.
Yeah, exactly. They treated it like it was WrestleMania. This is what I was saying about WWE always patting themselves on the back about shit they do. It's like if they had time, had they made this decision a couple weeks ago, they would have advertised the fuck out of this. The thing is, they treat it like it's so special. If you want to be able to pat yourself on the back, it's not It's not about putting women on a pedestal as if they're better than men or as if you view them, more. You're giving them special treatment. You don't want to make it obvious that you're giving them special treatment. You want to act like just treat them the exact same way you treat a man. Don't make mention of it. Don't act like it's a weird, out of the ordinary thing to do. Just fucking do it.
And I found, see, with you saying that too, I found a, like, it was a lesser version of a female spot fest. You could basically call it like a female spot fest, just like toned down a little bit. Like, it's basically like that. Like, it's like, we want you to go out there and do the things you see the men doing in the main events and make it look like it's just an ordinary thing.
Yeah, exactly. Just shit to pop the crowd, and just so they go, "Oh my god, I can't believe they're having women do this."
And when we show 6,000 replays of Sasha landing on her head and neck and back and diving outside the ring and trying to look like she's landing like Lita in 2004 when she did the suicide dive on Trish and bounced off her head.
Yeah.
I mean, just do stuff like that.
Another thing too, just to put this in perspective, and I know I sound like every fucking wrestling fan that has access to a computer, but I'm gonna go back to talking about SmackDown. But notice how SmackDown, they've been advertising the Becky Lynch Alexa Bliss match in Glasgow now for a few weeks, and they haven't talked about how it's revolutionary that women are doing this. They've just advertised it as if it was a main event match, man or woman. They've just advertised this match. You know what I mean? Like, if it was Dean versus AJ, they would have advertised it the same way that they're advertising Becky and Alexa. They don't point to it being women's. They just let them wrestle, and they realize that there's plenty of capable women on that roster delivering a great quality match, and they treat them like such. So
and see, here's another thing too about Alexa and Becky. They build to their match like they actually dislike each other. Like, Alexa actually dislikes Becky and thinks Becky's a complete phony. Yep. And Becky dislikes that. Whereas in Sasha and Charlotte, I had a friend directly tell me, I can't probably find the quote at this very moment.
Well, they treat, like, on SmackDown where women are feuding, like how men would feud just about normal things. On Raw, it's like women are feuding for supremacy. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm the most dominant woman. No, I'm the most dominant woman. We're on SmackDown. It's like, I'm feuding with you because I fucking hate you, and I want that title, and I'm the best wrestler on this roster. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's glaringly obvious, and it's frustrating.
Well, I see where you're coming from, but the point I was going to make to you was, I had a friend say the animosity was there because, like, Charlotte was trying to end Sasha's career because she hated her guts. Nowhere in this was it stated, and this comes back to the point of the Hell in a Cell being forced, I hate your guts. It was just, like you said, I want to be better than you. I want to show that I'm trying to make a revolution. No, I'm going to be the face of the revolution. Like, it's like the revolution is more important than any of your feuds, any of your championships, anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's so force-fed that there can't be a single person that actually subscribes to the thought that this is really a revolutionary time in women's wrestling. But yeah, and they have Sasha do shit that one of their most iconic male superstars did. It's like they're like, okay, let them have this, but make sure that we can draw comparison to men. You know what I mean? Like, it's just super frustrating. The Eddie Guerrero shit is cringeworthy.
It's cringe. Eddie Guerrero being referenced as cringe. The sweethearts, the Mias, it's just bad.
Yeah, Sasha Banks is just bad right now. I really, really think a heel turn would do her so much good. But it's just like totally went overkill with it. And the thing too about the spots is there's some crazy spots. There are also a lot of botch spots, but there's a couple crazy spots, but there was nothing crazy enough where they could have even got that, like, shock factor pop where it's like, oh my god, did a woman just do that? Like, what they were going for. Like, there was nothing that they did that would have really, really warranted that, now that I think about it. So I don't know what they were going for, but like I said earlier, it's just fucking frustrating that they're running with the Charlotte undefeated on pay-per-views storyline, because that's a really shitty thing to boast about, because everyone's going to go in knowing now that Charlotte's going to keep the streak intact for a while. And another thing too, they're trying to have Charlotte, as I mentioned earlier, be like her dad with, being a 16-time champion. At least that's what I'm assuming they're going, because immediately after she won, they quickly announced she's now a 3-time champion. So if they're going to have the women keep trading this title around like it's nothing and devaluing it, Sasha will be a 16-time champion by the time 2018 rolls around. So it's just ridiculous. Like, come on. That works for Flair, being a 16-time champion, but like being a 16-time champion in this day and age, like if they're just going to continue to have them trade the title
It's going to make the title like nothing.
Yeah, it already feels like that. It doesn't. The feud's not about the title, or it's entirely about the title. And in every great feud, the title is secondary. You know what I mean? It's like the title is there, and that's the catalyst of the feud. But that's not what makes the feud intriguing. It's think about Cena Punk. The title was the catalyst. Punk wanted the title, but that wasn't what made that feud great. There's so many things.
Personal animosity, dude.
Yeah, Jericho and Shawn Michaels is probably the finest example of that.
Exactly. They took the title straight away from CM Punk when they feel like, okay, he could have had it, but at the same time, Jericho and Michaels needs the title because the title needs to be secondary, and we need something for them to truly fight over.
Yep, exactly. So every great feud is based around, it draws stuff from real life, and it draws, there's real life implications, and there's, actual stuff for two people to get in a feud about, opposed to just, hey, I want that belt and I'm better than you, or hey, we're both women and we're both talented, but which one is truly the best? Like
they've mixed it up, dude. Like there's no true hate here.
And the corny narrative they were trying to forward in that match too, where Charlotte was like, "Respect me," like, oh my god, like what? I don't care. Like, no, that's not what this feud was about. This feud was not about respect at all. You show video packages every day about how these girls rose up together and how they had nothing but respect for each other. You even had them explicitly say, "I respect Charlotte," or "I respect Sasha." Respect was not an issue in this at all.
So can I ask you a question?
No.
You remember that? I was gonna do it anyway. Do you remember that one Hell in a Cell where the two guys were like, "Hey, you know what? I respect the hell out of you. I respect the hell out of you. There's only one true way to settle this: a Hell in a Cell."
Yeah.
You remember that?
Triple H, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, special guest ref.
Triple H was trying to end the streak.
Yeah.
Well, my point was, I was trying to be a sarcastic smartass. I don't legitimately remember that. Like, Triple H legitimately wanted to hurt Undertaker, and wouldn't you seen that match?
Okay, but on the flip side of that, people are complaining, that those men walked out hugging each other at the end and held each other's arms up. So
That's just like a Triple H thing to do, dude. At this point, it's just customary Triple H shit.
No, I know, but I'm saying where it can be, a great way to have a feud climax. When it's all said and done, you can have shit like that. But the point is, the feud needs the call for the cell, and the cell needs to be the be all end all. There's no match afterwards. Remember the Ambrose Rollins feud? The last thing they did, and they made it clear, the Hell in a Cell match was going to be the end of the feud.
They also made it 100,000,000% clear that Dean Ambrose hated Seth Rollins' guts.
Yeah, exactly. That was the last Hell in a Cell, I believe, where it called for the cell and where people wanted to see it. And it even main evented. You know what I mean? Over, I think it was fucking Orton or Cena. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, not a hard call. But, like, you know what I mean? That was the be-all, end-all between two guys where, that was the place to do it. That was planned perfectly. Whether that be by coincidence or by design, I'm not going to give them credit for having that be by design because I don't think they're capable of that. But that was brilliant. This, it's like we said earlier, it's just, okay, Hell in a Cell's on a calendar. You guys can't have a normal match this pay-per-view because it's Hell in a Cell, so we're going to put you guys in a cell. So,
well, see, I like to rate these things too. I don't do like stars and numbers because people get butthurt over these things. So in the middle of I just I do the most simple shit ever, the whole thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down thing. It sounds like you're in the middle, leaning toward going downward. Like that's what it sounds like you are.
I'd say I'm in about acute angle with my thumb right now, about 30 degrees. It's probably a quarter of the way. It's halfway between up and down. If I were to give it a number, I'd give this show a 5, honestly. maybe a 4 or 5. It wasn't. It's nothing I would ever watch again. There's no.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Here's the easiest way to do it. Search it, skip it, buy it. What are you doing?
If I hadn't seen it, I'd say skip it and just read about it, because nothing eventful happened. You could just get everything you needed from just reading, a summary or listening to a podcast. Maybe the DIY podcast. Skip it, buy it, whatever. Whatever the other option was.
Search it.
Search it on YouTube. Watch the DIY podcast every week. You know what? Skip wrestling every week from now on and just watch DIY.
I completely agree with you.
You'll never get an analysis this thorough. And I think that is a proper note to end this on.
I completely agree with you.
All right.
So, shout your shit, dude.
My shit. I got one shit to shout out. You guys can follow me on the Twitter. I can't believe I just said on the Twitter. That's gross. I hate when people do that. I'm sorry.
I said the Twitter machine.
Yeah, no, that's really corny. Anywho, at C_cam, no underscore, CCAM15. That's CCAMM15. You can find me there. We can talk wrestling, whatever you want to talk about. I'm a cool guy. I'm not busy. Wrestling's about the only thing I got on my plate. So, you want to talk to me? That's fine. We'll talk anything. Other than that, you can hit me up on MySpace. My band has a... No, I'm fucking kidding. I'm fucking with you. All right, go for it, Gordon.
First, let me just tell you guys about stuff that's going to be on the channel this week. I have not done Universe Mode in my career in a couple of days. That's because I have been completely busy, and I am sorry for that. I will try and get back into that stuff tomorrow, and probably run into Tommaso Ciampa and make that jobber kiss the boot that Adam Cole walks in the ring. Just saying that Universe Mode is going to be back. Ambrose, we're kind of feuding with Rollins right now.
Did you happen to tell these people why Ciampa is in your Universe Mode?
I probably have, but if you guys don't watch the Universe Mode stuff, then it's simple to say. I have Universe Mode Invasion on, and this guy, because I decided to do Adam Cole, he wanted to do something as well. So he did Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, and it's a little different story over in my universe. I'm laying the smack down Adam Cole every week, so yeah, we got some revisionist history over here. What we got over here? Oh, revisionary historian? Oh, revisionary historian? It doesn't have the same ring to it.
What we got over here?
Go play. Oh, man.
Anyways. You guys know, if you already haven't liked this, like it, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. I'll link it in the description. I'll link both of our Twitters in the description. And otherwise, I don't think there's much else to be said.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the DIY Wrestling Podcast, the podcast made for wrestling enthusiasts, by wrestling enthusiasts. And we'll see you guys next time.
See you later, birds.